Good morning, Miss. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Bagus Krisnayanto. You can call me Bagus. I'm student from BSI University in a literature major. And on this occasion, I would like to share you my presentation about reviewing material from meeting 1 until meeting 14. And before I start my presentation, I would like to say thank you for coming my presentation. So the first content of this measure is meeting 1 or introduction to English literature or the element of literature, meeting 2 poetry and intrinsic element of poetry, and meeting 3 extrinsic element of poetry, literature and biography, literature and psychology and influence. And meeting 4, we have exercise and question. Meeting 6 on explainable fiction of intrinsic element 2. Meeting 7, we have a quiz. And meeting 9, fiction of extrinsic element. Meeting 10, we have exercise scan, reading or understanding or identifying fiction. Meeting 11, we have drama. Meeting 12, elements of drama. Meeting 13, it is exercise of reading, understanding, and discussion about text drama. And the last meeting, it is exercise and about reading and discussing about text drama. The table of content. Meeting 1, we have explained about what is literature and genre of literature. Meeting 2, we have what is poetry and the kind of intrinsic element and the style of language. And the meeting 3, we have explained about extrinsic element of poetry, literature and biography, literature and psychology. And the meeting 5, we have intrinsic element 1, plot and conflict. Meeting 6, we have intrinsic element 2, and the method of characterization and the setting. Meeting 9, we have extrinsic element and the kind of fiction. Meeting 11, what is drama and the types of drama. And the last meeting 12, we have elements of drama, staging, and them. Next is meeting 1. What is literature? So literature is referred to as the entirety of written expression, with the restriction that not every written document can be categorized as literature in the more exact sense of the word. And what is genre of literature? First, poetry. Poetry is an imaginative awareness of experience, and the second is fiction. The fiction comes from the Latin root finger, which means friend. And the third is drama, a prose or phrase composition present in dialogue and action, a story involving conflict or contrast of characters and intended to be performed on the stage. And the meeting 2, we have what is a poetry. So the definition, it is the definition about the poetry is one of the oldest genres in literary history, and it is earliest example go back ancient Greek literature. Poetry closely related to the term lyric, which derives etymologically from the Greek musical instrument lyra and points to honoring in the supra of music. And so this is a kind of intrinsic element. We have visual imagery, kinesthetic imagery, auditory imagery, organic imagery, tactical imagery, gustatory imagery, olfactory imagery. You can see what is the definition of all the kind of intrinsic element. And the last of meeting two is style of language. Style of language, we have a similar a metaphor, an idiom, personification, a symbol, hyperbole, letters, imaginary or image figure of sound. So you can see about explain this kind of style of language. And the next meeting three is extrinsic element of poetry, and are the literary element or factor which can be found outside the literary work but is indirectly influence the structure of the literary works. It is focused on the background, history, social condition, and biography of the author. So literature and biography. What is literature and biography? First, biography might give any contribution to the making of literary works. And from biography, we will not only know the genius, moral, intellectual, and emotional development of a man, but we might learn the physiological condition and all the creative process. That is literature and psychology. The definition is psychology can explain about the creative process. The second is a study of revision, correction, and the like has more, which is literative profitable. The last from meeting three is the influence of intrinsic factor. Intrinsic elements become an integral part of the building work of literature, and extrinsic elements give color and flavor to literature, and the extrinsic elements that affect the work can also be used as a portrait and objective reality at the time the work was born. The next meeting five, we have intrinsic element one. So the kind of intrinsic element one is plot of the story. How do I find the story related to another? So you can see character of the story, setting of the story, point of view of the story, style, tone, and language of the story, symbols and allegory, and the last term of the story. So we have the definition of about plot. Sometimes that writer may also choose to tell several stories at once, making parallel plot or subplot. And so plot we have kind to kind. So a parallel plot generally tells the stories of equal importance. A subplot tends to the secondary, often taking to the form of a story told by character within the story. The last is conflict. Man versus man. It is physically. Man versus circumstance. It is causal. And man versus society is social. And man versus himself or herself, it is psychological. And the next meeting says we have intrinsic element two, and there are two meanings for the word character. The first, the person in a work of fiction, and the second, the characteristic of a person. So this is a method of characterization. First, telling. So which is release of an expression and direct commentary by the author. The second is showing, which involves the author stepping aside to allow the character to reveal themselves directly through their dialogues and their action. The next is setting. The time and location in which a story takes place is called the setting. Time and location is the called a setting. For some, the setting is very important, while for others it's not. And the kind of setting is place, time, weather condition, social condition, mood, or atmosphere. You can see about use from the kind of setting. The next is meeting 9. We have extrinsic element, and this definition of intrinsic element is the element that is outside of literature or stories, but also determines the form and content of work or story. It is by the writing of literary work and influence of literature as a whole. It is everything that inspired and influenced the work of literature. Writing literature as a whole includes, and include is the first background of the other lives, belief and worldview rather, custom prevailing at the time, the political situation and economic situation, and the last social failure. And the kind of fiction, it is a novel, fable, parable, fairy tales, and movie. You can see the definition of this slide. So we have meeting 11. We have drama, and what is drama? And drama is a work of literature or comparison, which is daily needs, life, and human activity by means of presenting various of an either modalities or dialogues of character or a group characters. Drama is designed for performance purpose. That is, although we speak of drama as a literary work or composition, we must never forget that drama is written to be act on the stage. And this is the types of drama. First, tragedy. The tragedy is a form of drama in which the hero or heroine, a person, a superior mind, character, and social position is overcome by major problem he or she tackles. The second is comedy. On the contrary, involves common people who face lesser, often everyday problems and success. And the last is tragicomedy, when certain elements of comedy and tragedy are blended. We have the last myth from material. It is elements of drama. The definition of drama is the word drama originates from the Greek word dramat, did to the or act, while the word theater from the word theatron, which means sing plays. Thus, watching drama means you watch the deed of man or men doing some action on the stage. And the second topic is staging. Staging is a term used in the theater that refers to the setting up props, blocking actors, and making sure lighting is a place. And these elements and several others need to come together to ensure a stage production comes off smoothly. Making that happen typically takes many people working together. And the last is time. The theme of the story conveys the author's message about people and the world in which we live. The theme is expressed throughout the element of the short story. One story might have several themes which might be expressed different way. And this is an example about a poem. We have a poem. You can see from Robert Browning. Okay, I think that's enough from my presentation. Thank you. Sorry if I made a mistake from my presentation or my slide. And thank you for attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.